Hiya. Good morning. I hope everyone is well. Here is the literature session for this week. Okay, so this week we're looking at a very different type of literature, a different genre of literature. And this is what some people might think is not serious literature at all, but it's a very modern, new way of presenting literature. This is comic strips, animations, and graphic novels. I think you might like it and be interested. Okay, we're going to start by looking at some cartoons and comic strips. Then we're going to look at some graphic novels and some animations and discuss whether this is serious literature at all and the topics. Okay, so first let's see if you can understand some of these cartoons. Cartoons are meant to be humorous, and we've had these for a long time, often in newspapers. What do you understand by this cartoon? Have a look and tell your partner. You can pause to discuss. Okay, what did you think? So it's a father to a son, and it's a caveman, and it's about children leaving home. In the UK, it's a very common thing. Children leave home and then they rent out the children's room to other people, maybe. Okay, next one. Okay, this one. Have a look, pause and discuss. What does it mean? Okay, pause now. Okay, any idea? Because the meaning of these cartoons is in the visuals. The meaning is in the pictures, and there are very few words. So is this literature? The one word there, boom, is an onomatopoeia. And the guy has a rocket on his back to get the basketball in, goes right up to the sky, lifts off, and then the crowd cheers when he gets the ball in the basket. Okay, next one. Okay, now pause and read and discuss. What does it mean? Okay, now this one's talking about modern life, because it used to be that films with sex and nudity and swearing and violence, for example, were banned for small children. We call them X-rated films that children are not allowed to watch. But now, this is funny, because it's 2022 and children don't know what smoking is. Maybe they know what sex is, they know what nudity is, they know what swearing is, but they don't know what smoking is because not so many people smoke anymore. So that's the humor in that. Okay, next one. Okay, pause now to discuss, what does this mean? Okay, what does it mean? Again, this is modern life, isn't it? And this is people taking selfies with their phone, and the dog wants to take a selfie of himself with the big bone, but he can't, because he can't get it all in the picture if he takes it upright with his camera this way up. So Garfield suggests taking it panorama, so sideways on instead. Okay, funny? Okay, so you might think they're funny, they might not. It might be British humour, but these are good types of visual literature, if you like, to get people thinking about modern ideas, to get people laughing at themselves, for example, and understanding modern life. The next one, have a look at this and read it and discuss it. What does it mean? Okay, pause now. Okay. This is something we can all relate to as we are teachers. We're asking, the teacher is asking all the students if they are ready for the test. Yes, of course, I sure am. I was born ready. Me, sure. Okay, but then the student at the end could pretend, but really hasn't done anything for the test at all. So he asks, can I get extra credit for honesty? Nice cartoon. And these cartoons encapsulate a few little ideas about modern society in a few words and interesting visuals. And people like to look at them. People like to read them. It's not hard work, is it? It's fun. Okay, one more. Read this one and discuss. Pause now. Okay, what does that mean? I love this one because this is talking about reading and books. It's like magic. The more you read, the more your intelligence grows. There is no magic way to make you more intelligent, but just getting in the box of smartness with reading, this is how you're going to do it. But the funny thing is at the end, when he says, hey, how do you open a book? Because of course, many people now don't read books at all. They read on a Kindle, like an iPad or a phone or a computer, and books are quickly going out of fashion. Okay, so lots of interesting ideas expressed in form of cartoon, animation, or comic strips. Okay, all of those are from this website here, and they're all free, and there are many, many of them there, comicsazcentral.com. I'll post this in the group later, or you can get it from the PowerPoint. Please look at more of them later. You can get them on your phones for homework and see if you think they're funny and which topic, modern topic they are addressing. Okay, and then there are political comic strips. Let's have a look at this one and see. We need to wait a few seconds and look at politics so people can relate to it, and it reaches it's taking a long time. It's okay. So, and there's lots scrolling down now, and these political cartoons here, you can see all these views of the world, and this is very interesting. This one here, for example, is about COVID, with the rich countries fighting over the COVID vaccines and the poor countries just looking at the men fighting. This is what's happening, isn't it? And this expresses these ideas very clearly in a visual. This one here, the presidential campaign, where he was trying to break the Statue of Liberty's arm. And this one, this is the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson. He got a Brexit deal. He fished it out of the sea, but post-Brexit is a big shark about to eat him. Has it eaten him? Okay, so these are very good ways of getting people's ideas across to lots of different people. Okay, so you can have a look at them later as well, look at more of those. There is a new genre of novels called graphic novels, and they are so popular now. This is the modern trend in Europe. Have a look through this summary, and I want you to add the 4 words on the right. So you need to pause, read, put the purple words in the 4 spaces. Pause now. Okay, so what did you find here? Yes, so young adult readers do want to read recreationally. This is for pleasure. And number 2, content can be considered too risky for young adult audiences because of the topics. Number 3, they're often violent, sexual content and are often political, including many different topical topics like LGBTQ, war, AI, artificial intelligence. But this is a very modern trend, and it's young people. It really, really does appeal to young people, but there are risks with it as well. Do you like the idea of these graphic novels? Let's have a look at some. Of course, so they are all, or many of them are online, because that's how young people now in Europe get their literature. And I want you to think about the 3 questions here. What do you think about graphic novels? Are they serious literature? And can they reach new and young audiences? Let's have a look at the first one. This is called The Witch. Now, people say that nowadays young people don't, because they play a lot and focus on this sort of why. Okay, so 152 pages. So we're just going to scroll down. We're not going to read the whole book, but it's all online and you can access it later if you want to see more of it. Okay, so I'm just waiting for it to load on my computer. Sorry, this is taking too long. Okay, so here it is. So it's not much writing on each page. It's lots of lovely designs. Look, a bit of nudity. Okay, so it's a witch, obviously. This is in the ancient forest. Okay, what's going to happen next? It's 152 pages, but as you can see, they are quite a lot of visuals and not much to read. It's taking too long to download on my computer. Maybe you need to download it first. Okay, with those things later. There are many more free graphic novels, but I think you get the idea. Do you think they are serious literature? Would you like to read these type of graphic novels, or do you prefer just text when you're reading? And what about young people in Guinea-Bissau? Do they like this sort of graphic novels? Maybe some of you could write a graphic novel. Some of you who are, I know some of you are very good drawers. Okay, so you could make your own comic strips. Here is a nice piece of software that helps you create comic strips. If you're interested in that, you can look at Canva with the comic strips. But I want, lastly, to share with you this wonderful website with many wonderful cartoons and animations, which really bring a lot of change to the world through this modern genre. Now, this is called Positive Negatives. So it's negatives, it's all about big problems, big issues in the world, but trying to make them positive. And they are a brilliant company who have received a lot of funding to go into countries where there are big issues and problems and find out exactly what's going on, use the people who live in the country to do the drawings and the animations, and then they are showing them around the world and making a lot of people think about these issues. So I want to show you a few of these short animations. There are comic strip stories. Lots of them are about the female circumstance, lots of people, a lot of them about war, and amazing animation, how we feel about. Okay, this is all of the animations, and you can see some about drugs, some about change, transformation, war, teen well-being. And let's have a look at this stork's journey. Okay. This is a beautiful short film. And think, what is it about? What is this about? Okay. It's 5 minutes long. I might cut it in the middle.
Once upon a time, found a little stork with snow-white feathers tipped black as coal. They fitted a small device to her and said, "Go fly, so we may know the journey of your life." And off she flew, joining a flock of 10. Soon, the 10 became hungry and stopped to sniff out food. But some were poisoned with pesticides, and 10 became 8. So on the flock of 8 travelled all across Europe through gleaming glass cities. But soon the skies darkened, and on an electric pylon, the 6 flew south across the golden plains of Turkey, Israel, and Egypt, until 2 of the storks stopped to eat in a dump and happily stayed there till spring, while 4 flew on. The 4 storks journeyed on through drought-stricken lands until 2 found their favourite food, a swarm of locusts, leaving 2 to fly further. Now these adventurous 2 storks flew onwards without knowing they were being watched down the barrel of a gun by 2 hungry huntsmen, and none carried on. Then one little boy found the dead little stork carrying a strange device. He looked up into the heavens and wondered if gods had sent the stork. But far above him floated the international space with all the creatures that circle the earth, learning from them how we all can keep our one little planet spinning for centuries to come. Which is why, once upon a time, in the emerald fields of Germany, 2 scientists found a little stork with snow-white feathers tipped black as coal.
And carries on. Did you like that story? I think it's a beautiful story, and it's beautifully told. And it's about storks, isn't it? Anything else? So pause now and discuss what that little animation is about. Pause now. Okay, so yes, it's about nature, isn't it? It's about humans destroying birds. Here it says here, birds navigate electricity wires, hunters, pollution, pesticides, the magic of this odyssey soaring over half the world. Okay, so it's about how nature interacts all over the world, but it's also about migration, isn't it? Migration of animals. I recently saw some beautiful storks in Portugal, and I've also seen storks in Morocco, and I've seen them migrating, which is so beautiful. It's a dangerous life. It's a dangerous world with us humans, isn't it? And can you compare that to the migration of people? Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at another one. This one, Life on the Move. Okay, this is the second one. We're going to watch 3 of these short. What is this about, and how effective is it?
Even though I was born in Yemen, I was of Somali heritage and was always treated as a foreigner. It made me want to volunteer to help refugees. But soon, the same kids who had bullied me became refugees themselves. I left with my family, boarding a boat for 3 nights that was built for 40 but carried 350. I just worked in a cafe with my father, and that's where I met my husband. He came in for an Americano and left with my heart.
After 25 years in Finland, I decided to return home. I opened a dialysis clinic that serves my whole country and region. Some of my generation still don't feel they belong in Europe and want to return home.
Life in my village was getting critically hard, so we left. And one night, my eldest son disappeared. A smartphone is why he left. His friends in Europe sent beautiful pictures. I'm glad I don't own a smartphone. If I did, the Libyan kidnappers who took my son would send videos of them hurting him. I could not live seeing that.
As a single mom, I struggled to bring up my kids, and being a minority wasn't easy. So I decided to return to my motherland.
There are many reasons migrants move and many different destinations worldwide.
Okay, so that's a very nice film. What's it about? Pause now and tell your partner. We're not going to see the rest of it. Okay, so yeah, it's about the reasons behind migration. A lot of migrant experiences, personal, social, economic reasons why people move. And I love the art in that, because people, they're using the maps, they're using models, they're using movements to explore visually the issue of migration. And I think it gets to wider audiences and helps people discuss more these sort of issues. I've got one more to show you now. Lots of these different stories. A lot of these are from Africa and Asia, most of them, as you can see. We're going to just look at this one last. And this is inspired by testimonies of Eritrean refugees. This is a beauty. So have a look and see how effective you think this is as an animation.
The herd looked at me. The stampede like the devil's spawn ripped apart my world. I heard they told me to run. They told me to run. I didn't want to leave.
The sound is very quiet. It doesn't matter. You can just follow it by the visuals. Okay, make the story happen in your head.
A safe passage of this world. I see access to a world I can rest my head and rise up in one piece. So, eyes open, yet blindness is back. Belly of the beast is not how to describe grief. Oh God, I don't know how to swim. Work it out, hold tight, hold your breath. One down, oh God, it's not my time, hold tight. Her last words echo in my mind, run in water and sun, just run. I blink, feet running, I blink, feet running, I blink. Now 32. And moons are dry.
So the devil take my brothers, and against all odds, I'm still breathing. Only a piece of me died. Feet keep moving past the Dead Sea on dry land. My will, unwavering, holding on to the only possession I keep, hope. Guided me through the hot sands of Khartoum, and now can I hope. Like a north star in the darkest of nights, hope. My compass for survival, hope. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, hope. Quenched my thirst in the muddy jungle. What has become?
Illegal aid.
It's an epidemic. Go back to your country. Do you speak English?
Why are you seeking asylum? Do you have any documentation? Any way to verify your identity?
Of course, I look older than I actually am. Can't run.
Okay, and again, it starts from the beginning again. So this is this whole cycle of going through and through and through the story of a terrible, horrific story of many migrants who flee their homes to make the dangerous journey across Ethiopia, Sudan, Libya, across the Mediterranean to Europe, and then everything that they encounter there. Okay, so these are horrific stories, but they are done in the most wonderfully imaginative way to get teenagers talking about them. I wonder if these would be effective to show in Guinea-Bissau to teenagers. What do you think? Would it deter them from wanting to migrate overland to go to Europe? Would it get them thinking about nature and different topics? Have a look at this website and see what you think is the effect of and the attraction of these types of animations. One thing, definitely for sure, is that they tackle a lot of very modern, very topical issues. Okay, so for your homework, I'd like you to read some more comic strips or animations or graphic novels from the websites, or I'd like you to create your own comic strip story, either on paper or on Canva. Paper is fine. Okay, so experiment with this genre for homework, making your own or reading some more. That's it for this